Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an Airbus A330 pilot and welcome back to another A330 relobs. Today we're going to fly the Discover Airlines Flight 53 from Minneapolis over to Frankfurt, which is an 8-hour 20 flight crossing the Atlantic Ocean in the A330. If you're as excited for this one as me, then follow me inside and we are going to head up from the two left to the flight deck. Now, before we start today's flight, a quick message from today's sponsor, Say Intentions AI. If you're looking for an air traffic control add-on that can not just do your standard IFR A to B flight, but also things like data link, VFR, and even a cabin crew simulation and more, then look no further than Say Intentions AI. We will be using them today for all of those functions, well, hopefully except for the VFR part. So if you like what you're about to see, then be sure to check them out using the link in the pinned comment or the video description below. And with that out of the way, let's get straight into the video. We are going to start today with a review of our flight plan, as we always tend to do. So follow me into Simbri for a quick check. Now, this is what it looks like today, and you can see we are flying a rather southerly routing here via the NatTrack Tango all the way to Frankfurt. Now, our significant weather chart is, well, rather significant today, but let's actually start with the... Interesting, we only have the 12 o'clock chart. Well, that's fine. So, as we can see in the upper levels, there isn't all that much happening. On the lower levels, there is quite a lot going on, so we will have to keep that one in mind, just in case the rapid decompression happens. As we're heading out to the Atlantic, again, the lower levels are fairly busy with icing and expected turbulence. The upper levels do have a jet stream up here, which includes a little bit of moderate turbulence up to level 400, but apart from that, nothing significant. Now, on the other end side of the pond, again, a little bit of turbulence there, and then we're crossing this area of occasional CVs until flight level 310, until we make our approach into Frankfurt. In terms of the weather, let's have a look. So we're departing Minneapolis, the wind is slightly from the north, runway 17 is active for the moment, fairly cloudy today, but overall good flying weather and a temperature of 25 degrees. For our destination Frankfurt, arriving at around 0600 UTC, we are looking at weather conditions, probably some showers of rain, some CVs, but nothing significant. Our alternate in Hahn shows us similar conditions. Now, they are getting thunderstorms throughout the afternoon, but by that time we are hopefully already going to be home getting some well-deserved rest. Now, with all of that in mind, let's have a look at the actual flight plan itself. We are the Flight 53 with a call sign Ocean 461 from Minneapolis to Frankfurt. On-time departure means on-time arrival at cost NX10, and our routing is via Duluth, so fairly northbound departure today. In flight level 370 initially, then crossing the Atlantic in level 400, but I can already tell you that this may be a little bit too high with the turbulence forecast, so we might as well be flying a little bit lower. We'll have to see about that. Maybe we'll just go for level 390 or something the likes. Now, going down into the fuel section, what do we have down here? 51.1 is the minimum takeoff fuel, plus 5 on taxi, leading us to 51.6. Now, 1,000 kilos more uses just a little bit less fuel even. Very interesting. But probably because we're flying lower. Well, no further comment on that. It shouldn't be that way. And if we need to fly a little bit faster, we can make up to 20 minutes at the cost of 3 tons additional, which I honestly don't really see happening today. So let's have a look. We are going to arrive with just about 45 minutes of fuel in the tanks, which is really not enough. So we want at least 5.7 on arrival, which equals a flight hour, plus our contingency, so adding up to that we need about 1,700 kilos extra fuel. So if 51.6 is the minimum, let's make it 53, and then we should be good to go. Alright then, with that out of the way, let's take a seat in our A330. I'm actually going to remove all those sunshades over here. We don't really need them anymore, and then we can get started. So, beginning with the preliminary cockpit preparation, the engine master levers are off, start selector norm, weather radar is off, landing gear lever down, wipers are off, battery voltages are checked anyway, external power is on. Then let's go ahead and do the APU fire test. And that's looking good. Let's start the APU because, well, it's 25 degrees outside and we do want it nice and comfy for everyone on board. 8 years, number 1, 2, 3 are going over into nav mode. We'll keep the RMP for the time being, and the cockpit lights are set. Then let's head over into the EFB and start an initial setup there. So, ground. We want the 2 left open and the 1 left open, and you can also give me the cargo doors, please. Now payload, download SimBrief data, and for the fuel, 53 tons is what we're looking for. Apply, instant, and then let's go for GSX and request boarding down here. So GSX boarding is requested. Now for the takeoff data, runway 17 is what they're using at the moment. Synchronize, we'll take it wet. And then let's see about our takeoff weight, 209 basically. Okay, so weight is going to be 209.0. Config 2, air conditioning off, calculate. Unable to find safe performance data. Interesting. So it's telling me that we can't depart from that runway? I kinda doubt that. Well, let's try dry. Yeah, it can do dry. Interesting. Very interesting. Well, then we'll have to hope that it doesn't start raining, because 17 is the active departure runway at the moment. But that's fine. So 210.5 is our performance limiting weight for the time being. Well, so be it. Then let's head down into the Atsu. We would have done the flight initialization at this point, and now back to the FMS. So data, aircraft status, A330-300, nav database up to date, delete any of those previously stored items, check and delete the scratchpad messages, init and init request. And while we're on it, let's also get our flight plan into the EFB over here. And then also down here into the flight planner. We're leaving KMSP, Minneapolis, charts, airport, we need the ground chart, and we need the parking chart. I do believe that's Terminal 1, but let's see real quick. See Terminal 1, okay. Lovely, so that's pinned. Now, we don't actually have any planned departure, so it might just be the Minneapolis 9, or it's just going to be radar vectors, either one of the two. Can't really tell you just yet, so we'll just keep it at that way. Now, let's see, oxygen is at 1500, hydraulic quantities are good, then let's turn on the FADEC, and the oil quantities are good for the flight. Alright, then we can turn this back off again. So, APU is running, APU bleed on. Alright, cool. Flaps retracted, matching the levers, spoilers retracted. Park and brake can go off. And brake check. Looking good. And park and brake back on again. Wonderful. Alright, so that's our preliminary pre-flight procedures complete. Then let's go straight into the pre-flight procedures. So, recorded ground control, oxygen supply, evacuation switch on captain, and the rest is done on this side. External lights. Let's see, refueling is complete. Beautiful. So, seatbelt signs on. Then batteries off and on again. Let's take a look. LAC DC, and they're charging perfectly fine. Very good. Okay, fuel pumps on. Engine fire test is looking good. And the right hand side is all set. PA is coming on. So, CBR test isn't simulated here. That's fine, and here we go. So, quick look into the weather. Dashboard, Minneapolis, update. What do we have here? Altimeter 2998. Here we go. at the 12th of September 2025. That's looking good. Up here everything's set. We'll leave the radios as they are for the time being. Listen to VHF 1, 2 and the interphone, and make sure that we actually hear something over the speaker. And you can have the same thing on your side. Thanks. So, weather radar is set. Ground control suppression can come online, and the rest is set. Lovely. So, with that done, let's go straight into our FMS setup. So, we're departing from Minneapolis to Frankfurt, alternate Han, and that's already the first thing that's wrong over here. We are going to be Ocean 461, as you can see down here at the call sign. So, Cosnx 10, flight level 370. Now, departing Minneapolis, runway. Probably 17, but just to be 100% sure they haven't changed it in the meantime, let's go ahead and grab the ATIS. So, AGC. What do we have here? Delivery 133.2. Come on, go active. Here we go. And it is 133.2, of course. So, ATIS, departure 120.8. We'll tune that on number 2. Okay, perfect. Runway 17 in use, that's all I wanted to know. And for the FMS, we will choose the... Well, actually, we will choose no departure at all. That's fine. So, straight out to 1000, thereafter Delta Lima Hotel. Now, for the arrival in Frankfurt, for the time being, it's going to be an ILS approach runway 25 left, Incom 1 Alpha arrival, like this, and we'll take the Delta Fox 626 transition. Insert. Now, let's go for the emergencies, and for that we'll need a pilot waypoint, which is going to be MSPX, I don't know, 4 or something the likes. So, let's see, runway 17, that's an easy one, runway heading 170. Okay, MSP17/170/25 miles straight ahead. TBD, create and store. And then flight plan, copy active, and that's going to be MSPX4. Alright, and then hold over there, 170 right turns, that's all looking good. Immediate return, KMSP. Alright, with an arrival, runway 12 they said, and that's going to be 12 right because it's the longer one. Insert. Very nice. Now, back to the fixed info page, KMSP17, and that's going to be radial 170 over there, and MSPX4 for the emergency waypoint. Good. Now, for the init page, let's find a couple figures. Zero fuel is 155.7. We don't have a load sheet yet, so 25 for the CG. Standard figure. Tailwind 49 is going to be our average wind component. And now a couple of fuel figures. Contingency 1.4. This is not a format error. This is exactly how you insert it in the real world. Without the slash. Alright, alternate 2 and final 2.2 is good. Taxi 0.5. Alright, leaving us with minus 5.5. I'll leave that uncommented, but we haven't inserted our steps just yet, so let's just do that now. So at Jopi, they want us to go up to flight level 400, and then at backset back to flight level 390. Alright, and that's all we'll need. So now let's go to the wind and do the wind data uplink. And now let's see, minus 2.3. That's kind of better. But it will be even better than that. So, for our takeoff data, we've got config 2 takeoff at full toga. So, conf 2, and the speed's 33, 35, 49. Is that really it? Yep, it is. Alright, good. So, 800 feet field elevation seems about correct. The QNH is 1015 though, respectively 2998. And that means noise abatement procedure 2 is in here. Engine out acceleration will be 1500, which is 2300. And finally we are going to do D-rate 1 for a climb, and on the progress page KMSP17. Okay, good. And that's everything entered. So, up to the glass shield, VOR, constraints, initial climb, probably somewhere around 5,000 or so, and also constraints on this side. Great. Ground from flight deck. Mind your ears, oxygen test. Right, done over here, and done over here. Lovely. Alright, cool. And with that, we are done with the entire setup. So let's go ahead and call for our IFR clearance before we... Yeah, let's actually do that before we do the briefing. So, delivery is already active. Then let's see what they'll have in store for us. Minneapolis delivery Ocean 461 heavy request IFR clearance to Frankfurt.
I am working on that clearance. Stand by.
Okay, he's hard at work. So, how's our boarding going? Almost done. Lovely. How about the loading?
Ocean 461, information Tango is current. Cleared to Frankfurt. After departure, fly radar vectors Dula, then as filed. Departure runway 17, initial climb to 4,000. Departure on 118.725, squawk 2256.
Ocean 461 Heavy is cleared to Frankfurt, runway 17, initial climb 4000, radar vectors to Dulu. Departure 118.725, squawk 2256.
Ocean 461, read back correct.
Alright, so 4000, 18725, 2256. And runway 17 is of course confirmed. Alright, lovely. So let's just see. 18725 is up here. Beautiful. Cool. Then we are ready for the briefing.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard Discovery Airlines Flight 5.
So, Minneapolis runway 17. Runway heading 4000. The MSA on today's departure is 2,800 and 3,500 up in the north, and extra fuel and time is approximately 10 minutes. You have any questions on that so far? No? Good, then let's get going. So we've got no hotspots for our taxi out, however, there is one runway crossing that we'll have to do at some point. We'll see how ATC is going to do that. So I guess it's going to be pushback onto Bravo, and probably Bravo Alpha, and crossing somewhere down here, and then all the way down to runway 17. Now for our stop margin, we've got only a few meters, so not much really. Engine out straight at 25, pick up a hold, and if we need to make an immediate turn back, then runway 12 right is going to be our runway of choice. We are slightly overweight, but just about, yeah, 20 tons-ish. So not too much of a deal. 3,000 meters runway available, and for the overweight landing procedure, if we don't have any time available, it's just APU on, and unless there has been a fire on the engines, APU bleed on. Apart from that, for anything that's not an unextinguishable fire, we'll go straight out, pick up a holding, and then decide on the further course of action. Now, that's pretty much the abnormals. There's nothing special or non-standard on today's departure, and I don't really see any threats, do you? No? Lovely, then that's our briefing completed, and we can do the cockpit preparation checklist, please. Which is engines and colors, removed, fuel, quantity, 52,960 kilograms, balanced. Seatbelts on, ADRs, nav, and Bravo Rev, QNH 290908. Cockpit preparation checklist complete. Alright, so of course it did start raining now, which we are or were unable to accept. Let's see if there's anything we can do here. Config 3 takeoff maybe? Nope. So wet runway. 1+F ain't gonna help. Let's see, let's make this exact. So we are at 208.7, minus 500 taxi is 208.2. Let's see if we're able to do that. 208.2, calculate. No. Just for the sake of it? No, air conditioning doesn't make a difference. For a moment I was like, well, maybe it's just the software over here, but it doesn't look like it. Okay, well, tell you what, in that case, what I'm going to do is just to use my real-world performance calculator to see if that makes any difference. So, I will quickly have to do that off-screen over here, of course, since I can't show you guys the real-world tool. But it's going to be runway 17. The wind from here is 150 at 12. The outside air temperature 27. QNH 2998. And it's a wet runway with anti-ice off. Takeoff weight 209. And thrust D-rated climb 1. Compute. And guess what? The real-world tool gives me completely different numbers from the IndyBuilds tool. So while this one gives me 210.5 tons, the real one gives me 228.1, and actually a lovely little fast temperature as well. Wonderful. Alright, in that case, real-world data it is. So let's go down here. It's going to be a flat 2 takeoff at 47 degrees flex temperature. Come on. And the takeoff speeds 129, 138, 143. It was a slight V1 range, but I'm going for the 129 because that gives me 90 meter stop margin. I would have wanted it on the 1 single meter stop margin. Okay, so this is real world data now. Ain't gonna get much better than that, guys, on a real ops. Alright, beautiful. So that stuff is done. Then, by the looks of it, they're done with the boarding. Let's go ahead and check in GSX. Yep, boarding complete. Very cool. Alright, so, ground menu, and the main doors are closing. Let's close the bulk as well. And the APU is there, so disconnect the ground powers, please. Park and brake is set. So cockpit door is closed, and then we can go down into the payload. So let's see, zero fuel is 155.7 and zero fuel CG 26.5. So 155.7/26.5, 53 tons of block fuel, 208.2. That looks correct. Takeoff data is for 209, so we can keep this. And the trim is 3.1 up. Beautiful. Alright, nice. So we're done with all this. Then let's go ahead and prepare the airplane for pushback, and I'll quickly say hello to our guests. Liebe Fluggäste, einen wunderschönen guten Abend aus dem Cockpit. Hier spricht Ihr Kapitän. Mein Name ist Emanuel im Namen der Discover Airlines. Darf ich Sie herzlich an Bord unseres Airbus A330-300 auf unserem Flug 53 nach Frankfurt willkommen heißen. Die Flugzeit wurde heute mit ca. 8 Stunden 20 berechnet. Wir erwarten einen ruhigen Flug in anfänglich ca. 11.000 Metern Höhe, später bis auf 12.000 Meter steigend. Wir melden uns dann im Anflug mit dem neuesten Wetter bei Ihnen. Wünschen Ihnen jetzt einen schönen Aufenthalt bei uns an Bord. Lehnen Sie sich zurück, machen Sie es gemütlich und dann wünschen wir Ihnen jetzt eine schöne Nacht bei uns an Bord. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon from the flight deck. This is your captain speaking. My name is Emanuel. In the name of Discover Airlines, I'd like to welcome you aboard our Airbus A330-300 on our flight 53 to Frankfurt. Today's flight time has been calculated at 8 hours and 20 minutes, expecting a smooth ride in 37,000 feet, climbing up to 40,000 feet throughout the flight. For the time being, sit back, make yourself comfortable, and we'll get back to you with the latest weather when we start our approach to Frankfurt. Thank you very much for your attention, and again, welcome aboard. Ground from flight deck. Go. So, please confirm all doors and hatches closed, ground equipment removed, and bypass pins installed. That's all confirmed. Alright, thanks. Then we're gonna get pushback. So, 118. Minneapolis ground, Ocean 461 heavy, request pushback and startup.
Ocean 461, pushback and startup approved, tail east.
Pushback and startup approved, tail east to Ocean 461. Before start checklists.
Southwest 1199, request push and start.
So, park and brake is set,
Southwest
take
1199
speed
cleared,
and
push and
thrust.
stop.
V1, 129, VR,
Push and start
136,
approved,
143,
Southwest 1199.
47. Windows. Ghost beacon on before start, checklist complete. Ground from flight deck. So, push and start approved, tail east, park and brake set. Roger, release brakes. That's going to be nose left, and park and brake is released. Off block at 06, and we are standing by for your signal to start the engines.
Denver 5206,
Roger.
push and start.
Alright, and here we go.
Push and start. Push and start approved, Endeavor 5206.
So let's see, 27 minutes in, and we are already pushing. That's quite okay. So in the States, they often want you to delay the engine start until you're actually aligned for the taxiway. I suppose we can't do that today.
Southwest 1199, runway 17 taxi via Delta Whiskey, cross runway 4, then cross
This is
runway
looking
22,
good enough
then
for
Whiskey
me.
Kilo 10.
So ground flight, starting engines 1 and 2 in that sequence.
Runway 17 taxi via Delta
Engine 1
Whiskey,
start.
cross runway 4, then cross runway 22, then Whiskey Kilo 10, Southwest 1199er.
Yep, a little lag over here. Okay, looks like we've got a good start on engine number 1. We're starting engine number 2. Clear 2.
Endeavor 5206, ready to taxi. Endeavor 5206, runway 17 taxi via Quebec, cross runway 22, then Mike, cross runway 12 right, then cross runway 12 right, then Mike, Whiskey
Alright,
Kilo
number 1 is
10.
available. Number 2.
Runway 17 taxi via Quebec, cross runway 22, then Mike, cross runway 12 right, then cross runway 12 right, then Mike, Whiskey Kilo 10, Endeavor 5206.
Okay, and the pushback is complete. Set parking brakes. Parking brake set. And that looks quite okay. So, ground from flight deck, we've got 2 get engine starts. Please prepare the airplane for taxi. See you on the right hand side with a pin, and have a good evening. Bye bye.
Endeavour 5063,
So
runway
you just saw the automatic trim in
cross
action.
runway 22, then Mike, cross runway
And
12 right,
here
then
we
cross
go.
runway
Both
12 right,
engines
then Mike,
available.
whiskey, kilo 10.
Runway 17 taxi via Quebec, cross runway 22, then Mike, cross runway 12 right, then cross runway 12 right, then Mike, whiskey, kilo 10, Endeavour 5063.
So, 28.9, and that matches the automatic trim setting. Good.
Delta 2516,
So,
taxi to
here's the
parking.
tuck,
Cross runway
there's
12
the
left,
tow
then
bar,
Papa 4, Papa Delta
and then
Bravo.
we're just waiting for the pin.
Taxi to parking. Cross runway 12 left, then Papa 4,
There she is,
Papa
and she's
Delta
holding the pin.
Bravo,
Beautiful.
Delta 2516.
Okay, after start checklist. Anti-ice. Off, become status, check pitch trim, 28.9%, rudder trim neutral, after start checklist complete. Ocean 461 Heavy, request taxi. And she's going. Good.
Ocean 461, negative, taxi not requested. Advise when ready for taxi.
Ocean 461, we are ready for taxi.
Giving way to the Delta A319.
Don't ask me
Endeavour
what that
5206.
AI has just been doing there.
Ocean 461, runway 17 taxi via Bravo, cross runway 22, then cross runway 4, then Bravo, Mike, cross runway 12 right, then cross runway 12 right, then Mike, whiskey, kilo 10.
Ocean 461, taxi runway 17 via Bravo, cross runway 22, cross runway 12 right, and then Mike, whiskey, kilo 10.
Delta 2524, taxi to parking,
So-
cross runway 12 left, then Papa 4, Papa Delta Bravo.
Bravo,
Taxi to parking, cross runway
and then they want us on my, okay, so Bravo, Mike, whiskey, and kilo 10 to the full length. Okay, so straight ahead on Bravo crossing, and then Mike crossing, and then whiskey full length. Good, we can do this. Clear on the right side, clear on the left side. Parking brake released. Let's go. So brake check, pressure 0.
Approaching 30 left.
Yeah, not yet. Okay, so now comes the trick of remaining on Bravo, which is going to be off to the right-hand side again.
Delta 2521, taxi to parking, cross runway 12 left, then Papa 4, Papa 2, Quebec.
Taxi to parking.
So, where's the Delta going up there?
Papa 2 Quebec, Delta 2521.
Delta 2521, give way to the Endeavour CRJ9.
Giving way to the Endeavour CRJ9, Delta 2521.
Let's hope he's not coming for us, but I have a feeling he is.
Country 1925, cleared for push and start.
Well, ATC, are you going to do something about this? Okay, this might become expensive now. Oh, bye-bye. Okay, no further comment. Alright, so we're gonna go straight ahead and cross the runway over here, and after the crossing we'll turn to the left. So we are ahead of the Delta over there, and the left side is clear. So clear to cross, strobe lights on. And the Delta is weighted. The right hand side is
Approaching
clear.
runways.
Yep, we are clear to cross 22.
Sun Country 1925, runway 17, taxi via Delta Sierra, cross runway 4, then cross runway 22, then Sierra, Kilo 10.
Runway 17 taxi via Delta Sierra, cross runway 4, then cross runway 22, then Sierra, Kilo 10, Sun Country 1925.
Alright, so off to the left.
Ground Delta 2983, taxi to the gate.
Delta 2983, taxi to parking, cross runway 12 left, then Papa 4, Papa Delta.
Taxi to parking, cross runway 12 left, then Papa 4, Papa Delta, Delta 2983.
Alright, and we're clear to cross runway 12 right. So the right side is clear, the left side is also clear. Beautiful. So after this it's going to be right on whiskey. And then basically straight ahead all the way to the end.
Approaching 04.
Yeah, we are long clear of that. Okay, so right hand turn on whiskey. Strobe lights going back to auto.
Delta 2521, give way to the Southwest 737 on your left.
And here we are.
Giving way
And
to
now
the
it's
Southwest
dry again, so we don't need to worry about our runway at all anymore. Now it even works with the any-build calculator, let alone the real world one.
Push and start.
Cool. So actually auto brake back off, and then we can do the flight control.
Ground, Southwest 3859er, taxi to parking.
Hold down.
Southwest 3859er, taxi to parking. Cross runway 12 left, then Papa 4, Papa Delta, cross runway 12 right, then cross
Alright.
runway 30 left, then Delta.
Neutral. And the rudder.
Taxi to parking. Cross
Hold on.
runway 12 left, then Papa 4,
All
Papa
right.
Delta, cross runway 12 right, then
And
cross runway
neutral.
30 left, then Delta, Southwest 3859er.
Alright, so squawk is in, weather radar on, and cam memo is checked. Beautiful. So taxi checklist please. Flight controls checked. Flap setting, config 2, radar and predict differentiator, on and auto, engine start selector, norm, ECAM memo, takeoff, no. Taxi checklist complete. So another little tricky taxiway here. Straight ahead, slight left, and then right. Did you just see the lightning over there?
18 ready to taxi.
That means thunderstorms in the area.
Southwest 3818, runway 17, taxi via Delta Sierra, cross runway 4, then cross runway 22, then Sierra, Kilo 10.
But interestingly enough,
Runway 17,
nothing on the
taxi
weather
via
radar.
Delta, Sierra, cross runway 4, then cross runway 22, then Sierra, Kilo 10, Southwest 3818.
Yeah, left side is clear, right side is clear. We'll keep going straight. And then we're almost at runway 17. Great. So here we are, and we are ready for departure. Let's see. Tower, frequency, runway 17, 123, 675. Tower, Ocean 461 Heavy, ready for departure.
Ocean 461, Minneapolis Tower,
Approaching
runway 17, wind 060
17.
at 3. Fly runway heading, cleared for takeoff.
Fly runway heading, runway 17, clear for takeoff, Ocean 461 Heavy. So, 118725 is in here. Cabin crew, prepare for departure. Lineup checklist. Takeoff runway 17, full length. TCAS, TARA, PAX 1 and 2, off. Lineup checklist complete. Are you ready? I take it that's a yes. Takeoff.
3859, hold short of runway 12 right.
On runway
1-7.
17.
Short, Southwest 3859er.
75063, hold short of runway 12 right.
Land flex 47, SRS, runway auto
Right,
thrust.
75063.
Cross set.
Ocean 461 cleared for the option, runway 1.
Yep. Minneapolis departure, Ocean 461 Heavy, passing 2,500, climbing 4,000 on the runway heading.
Ocean 461, Minneapolis departure, radar contact. Climb and maintain flight level 370, turn left heading 010, vectors to Dula, then is filed.
Climb level 360, left heading 070, Ocean 461 Heavy. Okay, heading 070 and 7,000 flaps 0. Autopilot 1. Okay, that's looking pretty good so far.
Radar contact.
So is it just a feeling, or did the engines get even louder with Sim Update 3? I really have a feeling
Minneapolis
they
approach
did.
Delta 2463, 16,000.
3 radar contact.
Sun Country 220, direct camel. Cleared for the RNF Zulu, runway 12 left approach. Descend and maintain
Okay, so,
altitude 4,000 until established.
Acceleration flow pattern.
Down to
Thumbs up.
4,000,
Orders
cleared for
detected,
the RNF
landing gear up,
012 left approach,
and
Sun
packs
Country
are
220.
on. Beautiful. So with that, we're established in the climb. Yeah, that's mini.
25, 2,000, 4,000.
Well, this is lucky.
Radar contact, climb and maintain 11,110.
But that I think is flipping no. Alright, then let's focus on our part of the job over here, which is flying the airplane, not looking at the scenery. And in terms of flying the airplane, there's already one thing that we can start to prepare.
Minneapolis approach United 732, 13,000. Radar contact.
And that's down here.
25, contact Minneapolis departure on 126.905.
126.95 for Sun Country 1925.
So, big waypoint.
Sun Country 1925, 1000.
Now that's going to be based on 50-34-9.
Sun Country 220, contact Minneapolis Tower on 126.7.
And 42-34-4. Forward error. Oh god. So 50349.
461, just advising you that about 1 minutes ago we had an aircraft report moderate turbulence at flight level 170 and below during descent.
Ocean 461, copy.
6.7 for Sun Country 220.
Alright, and west 0, what did I say, 4234.
Ocean 461, Coalition 461, roger. Southwest 11.
Alright, then we've got Tango SNN,
American 329, direct Hamel.
which is still not
Clear for the
working.
RNAV Zulu runway 12 left approach. Descend and maintain altitude
This
4,000
used
until
to work, they
established.
used to fix it. Then they just broke it again.
Descending to 4,000 cleared for the RNAV Zulu 12 left approach, American 329.
Oh well,
Departure Endeavour 5206, 2000 for 4,000.
then we're just gonna use this alternate
Endeavour
format.
5206, radar contact. Climb and maintain 11-1000.
So 53, 56, 6,
Up to 11-1000, Endeavour 5206.
and 20, 55, 5.
Endeavour 5206, contact Minneapolis departure on 126.95.
Good, so that stuff is now in there.
126.95 for Endeavour 5206.
Beautiful.
Delta 2271, direct Washi. Cleared for the RNAV Yankee
So,
runway
over the
12
weather
left
over
approach.
here.
Descend and maintain altitude 3000 until established.
Descending to 3,000 cleared for the RNAV Yankee 12 left approach, Delta 2271.
Alright, I'm approaching
Minneapolis
10,000.
departure Endeavour 5206,
I'll tell you
1000.
what, I'm gonna go select the 250 until we've crossed these clouds over there, because that just looks a little bit
Contact
turbulent
Minneapolis
here.
center on 121.05.
Temperatures are good, no anti-ice needed for those clouds,
121.05 for Endeavour 5206.
making it nice and easy. Also, I
American
hope.
329, contact Minneapolis Tower on 126.7. Delta
Alright, cool.
2271,
So we're
contact
passing
Minneapolis Tower
10,000,
on
signs are gonna remain on for the time being. Then let's go down here and fix it in.
Delta 2271.
So ETOPS entry point 1. Oh no. Alright, I can't be bothered. I'll just include BTP then.
Thank you for your attention, and we hope you have a wonderful flight.
That's it. Thanks. Alright, cool. So clear that weather, and I suppose we could still climb above that one over there. In the meantime, let's see if we can maybe get the navigation. Ocean 461 heavy request to proceed direct Delta Lima Hotel. Perhaps we can avoid some of that weather over there.
Ocean 461, direct Dula approved, climb and maintain 37,000.
Direct Dula approved, climb level 370, Ocean 461. Alright, great. So, Delta Lima Hotel, direct to insert nav. So, looks like we got the direct right at the best possible time, going straight through the gap. And then let's go managed. Beautiful. Alright, cool. And with that, we've basically done about everything we could up here. So I would say for the time being, just sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight with us. And then I'll see you on the other side of the Atlantic as we're starting our approach into Frankfurt. ILS 25 left, Ocean 461 heading. Alright, fantastic. Now you might have noticed throughout the flight that I had turned the TCAS to standby. That's kind of because I thought some of the lagging that you see on screen here would be caused by that, but it doesn't entirely look like it, so whether I turn it on or off, the frames do become worse when I turn TCAS on, but as you can see, turning it off increases the frames only like a bit, so there is something definitely wrong with the airplane in sim update number 3 that causes the frames to become a little bit worse when the airplane is airborne. We noticed that on departure already, even though it wasn't as bad as on arrival over here. It doesn't seem like a memory leak though, because the leak would be occurring at a rate that is too low, so there's got to be something else involved over here. But nonetheless, I have forwarded that to AnyBuild to have them check it out.
Flight level 050. Turn left, heading 055 vectors for the ILS runway 25 left approach.
Descent altitude 5000, left heading 055, vectors ILS 25 left, Ocean 461. Heading, flight level 50 blue, and set QNH. QNH 1018, cross-check passing 11,200 now. Okay, so let's clean that flight plan up. Direct, Delta Fox 680, and the radial in is going to be 066. So, full heading. Heading. Great, and here we are. So, terrain on ND is unfortunately still not implemented, because it would be rather useful when receiving vectors up in the north of Frankfurt. By the way, look at how much the frame rate has improved after inserting that direct. That's really don't know what's going on there, but it's got to be related to the FMS somehow. Okay, so we're reaching 10,000, lights, signs, ethers.
136.5 for Lufthansa 1 X-ray Victor.
And GPS primary high accuracy.
On 136.5.
Alrighty, so
136.5 for Lufthansa 9er Yankee Alpha.
then let's talk about the approach briefing. And that's going to be for you. So it's going to be radar vectors for an ILS approach runway 25 left, MSA 4,300, minimum 570, go around straight at left and turn, climbing eventually to an altitude of 5,000. Now, extra fuel and time is about an hour. Well, to be honest, that's not true. The FMS was lying to us for that.
Ladies and gentlemen,
At this weight, we are looking at around about half an hour extra fuel.
please turn off your
So that's 53 minutes down there. We'll pretend to believe that. Man, look at those frame rates. I hope that that's going to improve for landing.
Lufthansa 7 Victor Tango, contact Frankfurt Tower.
Okay, so,
136.5.
radar vector ILS approach, config 3, flight director guided, idle reverse, auto brake low, locate the runway to the right hand side. With a bit of luck, actually I tell you what, with those frame rates, no, I'm not going to request the visual approach to 25 center. We'll just do 25 left and then taxi to the parking. And apart from that, nothing special, nothing non-standard, and honestly, that's really it. Anything from your side? No. Beautiful. So that's everything complete. Get that cloud in front of there. It looks a little bit like a mushroom, doesn't it? Did someone start dropping nukes already? Okay, that wasn't even one. I have to accept that. So, thrust idle, open descent.
Turn right, heading 085.
Right heading 085, Ocean 461. Heading 085.
Ocean 461, continue on heading 085, descend 5,000.
That's what you said. Yeah, we have that instruction already. So, right to the sun, huh?
Ocean 461, correct, descend altitude 5,000 feet, continue heading 085.
Stop annoying me. Let's see what he's gonna respond to that. Probably nothing too joyful. Oh, interesting. Okay.
Frankfurt approach, Dolomiti 4 Charlie Hotel, flight
Ain't gonna say no to that.
080.
Approach checklist, please. Power ref, QNH 1018, seatbelts on, minimum is power 570, auto brake, low, and engine start selector. Norm, approach checklist complete. Okay, so speed, vertical speed. Let's just do 1,000 feet a minute over here. We still have quite a distance to fly. About, let's say, 15 miles ahead, then the base turn. Yeah, should be just about fine. Let's see, it's 5:24 right now, and we are supposed to be there at 5:50. Beautiful, so we'll be nicely in on time. 1,000 to go. In the meantime, something we can do off screen over here is to go to flight radar 24 and quickly check where the actual flight's been landing on. So the real one landed 25 left, and they've been parking on Charlie 8. And if you're wondering how I'm looking that up, the key is, as always, you know that I love it, flight radar 24.
Departure Air France 53 Alpha Juliet
So just a quick look, this is the real world flight, and then I just zoom in all the way. And here you go. Landed 25 left, crossed in my gate, and down here, Charlie 8. That way we now know what we want to land on and where we want to taxi. Alt star, alt.
Air France 53 Alpha Juliet.
So 5,000 is safe up here, but we don't want to go any lower up here in the north because there are a couple of mountains on the left hand side.
Switching to Frankfurt departure on 1.
We definitely don't want to fly into the
Air
tunnels.
France 53 Alpha Juliet.
Okay, so the big question is, are they going to turn us left again, or is it just going to be straight in? I kind of hope it's going to be straight in with the base turner being out about 620. But I don't want to turn the TCAS back on to see if there's any traffic around, because I have a feeling that the TCAS is a big part of why the performance suffers. Well, suppose we are going to find out. She looks nice, doesn't she? And yeah, I know, that's what she said, but... Man, those lags are annoying, though. Film like 8.5 hours in real time, and then it's doing this too.
Frankfurt approach, Lufthansa 585.
I don't get how a server could break a perfectly working sim, like FS 2020, so badly when turning it into 2024. I really don't get it. That's something that was perfectly working. I do understand how they could mess up the original FS 2020 release, because hey, it was a brand new sim and such. But come on, you had 4 years of experience. What are you doing, sir? Ocean 461 is ready for base turn.
Ocean 461, turn left heading 055 vectors for the ILS runway 25 left approach.
Ocean 461, request a right turn to turn base.
Ocean 461, turn right heading 055 vectors for the ILS runway 25 left approach.
Oh my god. Ocean 461, turn right, vectors ILS 25 left.
Ocean 461, 5 miles from Delta Foxtrot 680, turn right heading 175, descend altitude 4000 until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS runway 25 left approach.
Man, what's the Honeycomb doing? Routing 175, descend 4000, cleared ILS 25 left, Ocean 461. Okay, here we go. So, 4000. Vertical speed. We're 18 miles out. That seems about fine to start
Frankfurt approach,
reducing our
Lufthansa
airspeed.
82 kilo, flight level 150.
Face activated.
82 kilo, radar contact.
Why is it getting so quiet?
Departure
Traffic.
Condor 7 Papa Charlie 2000 for
About 1,000
4,000.
above us, so that's totally fine. Okay, so I'll give myself a little vector onto the final here, 220. And clear ILS. Yeah, 3 dual autopilot 1 and 2, lock start.
Condor 7 Papa Charlie, radar contact. Climb and maintain 13-13,000.
Climb 13-3000, Condor 7 Papa Charlie.
Lufthansa 171, contact Frankfurt Tower on 136.5.
136.5 for Lufthansa 171.
Condor 7 Papa Charlie, contact Frankfurt departure on 127.28. Ocean 461, contact Frankfurt Tower on 136.5 when established.
136.5, Ocean 461 by.
Departure Ice Air 52.
Alt, lock. Frankfurt Tower, Ocean 461, heavy ILS 25 left. Last look alarm, flaps 1. Speed checked, flaps 1.
Ocean 461, Frankfurt Tower, roger, continue approach, runway 25 left.
Continue, 25 left, Ocean 461. Alright, all runways are in sight. So now the question, do we want to risk doing the visual with the possible frame rate issues? Ocean 461, we're able for the visual approach to 5 center. Let's see what Tower says about it.
Ocean 461, visual approach to runway 25 center approved, winds calm.
Clear visual approach to 5 center, Ocean 461. Alright, that was easy.
Short of 25 center, ready to go.
Lufthansa 1 Hotel, winds calm, runway 25 center, cleared for takeoff.
So, flight directors off.
461, winds calm, runway 25 center, expect the visual approach.
We're on the visual, 25 center, Ocean 461.
Lufthansa 976, short of 18, ready for departure.
Okay, so go around altitude
Lufthansa
5000 is set.
976, winds calm, runway 18, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, 18, Lufthansa 976.
Lufthansa 5 Lima, contact departure, good day.
The frames don't actually look too bad, do they?
Good day.
Lufthansa 7 Victor Tango, contact ground on 121.805.
Lufthansa 7 Victor Tango.
Okay, so we're basically flying a standard approach over here. Config 1 down the glide slope, which we, by the way, can use for runway 25 center since the thresholds are more or less in the same position. Just the localizer can be ignored over here. And yeah, we'll configure it 2,500 above ground, which is 2,800.
Runway 25 left, cleared to land.
Ocean 251, we're established on runway 25 center. Flaps 2. Speed checked, flaps 2.
Ocean 461, runway 25 left is assigned for arrival. Confirm runway
you gotta be
25
clear.
left or request change.
You just gave me runway 25 center.
American 704,
You're
contact
down.
ground on 121.
If we have to argue with him, I'm just going to shut him off, huh? Because he literally cleared us for the approach. Okay, flap 3. Speed check, flap 3. Why is the cabin not ready? Stop annoying me. Alright, landing checklist. Eco memo, landing no blue, landing checklist complete.
Lufthansa 449, winds calm, runway 25 right, cleared to land. Lufthansa 1 Hotel, contact departure. Switching to departure, Lufthansa 1 Hotel.
Okay, so nicely established, clear to land, everything's done. Very good. I just wish the pitch was correct in the final. We should be looking at about 4 degrees pitch here, not 2.5. With a flap
Departure for
full approach.
Lufthansa 9076.
So the wings are turning a little. Let's make sure we stay on the center line. Checked. Okay.
Approaching 25 center.
Checked.
Lufthansa 171, winds calm, runway 25 center, cleared to land.
Oh.
Cleared to land, 25 center, Lufthansa 171. 400.
300. 100 above.
Checked.
200. Minimum.
Continue. Obviously, visually ignoring the quiet slope there.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
So, spotters, reverse green, decel. knots. Manual brakes. And with that, welcome to Frankfurt. So that was fun flying that visual approach once again. It's been a little while since we've done it last time. 8 hours and 16. Good time.
Frankfurt Tower, switch 37 Papa, established on the ILS X-ray runway 25 center.
7 Echo Echo established on the RNAV
Yeah,
runway 25
that
left.
sounds like that's it. Zero radio discipline.
Enjoyed your flight with us today. Did you know that Frankfurt is home to the European Central Bank and has the largest financial district in Germany? It's also famous for its skyline, which is often compared to New York City. Thank you for flying with Discover Airlines. Please remain seated until we reach our final parking position. On behalf of Captain Emmanuel, First
Lufthansa
Officer
72, winds calm, runway 18 cleared for takeoff. Safe travels.
the local time is 7:30.
Alright, if he doesn't give me a hand job, then I'll do it myself.
Flight LH1234
So 121805, I think, is the frequency that St. Andrews uses.
and flight LH5678 to Munich departs at 8:30 a.m. Gate B ready.
Cockpit ground, Ocean 461 Heavy, request taxi to gate Charlie 8.
Lima, November 3. Have a good day.
Taxi Charlie 8 via Lima, November 5, November 3, Ocean 461, detected. Alright, we can absolutely do that. So, let's get GSX in place. Terminal 1, Charlie, and it's Charlie 8. No follow me needed. And Lingua Swissport. Then we can already shut down engine 2. Alright, after landing checklist, radar and predictive wind shear off, after landing checklist complete. In the real world, the plane would not slow down like that. In the real world, it would actually still accelerate at these rates.
Ground Lufthansa 171, taxi.
That's just how much idle thrust those engines have. It's quite incredible. That's also why the plane, why the plane flies like a glider.
171, taxi to parking. Cross runway 25 center. Then Lima 10, Lima, November 5.
Okay, so we're cleared via November 5, that's on the left over here, and then on to November 3.
Lima 10, Lima November 5, Lufthansa 171.
So, clear left side. They need to work a little bit on that single engine taxi model. It shouldn't be that problematic. Actually, in real life, you just shut that engine down, keep the other one at idle, and it normally works for like 90% of the cases. Only when you gotta go up, that's when you have to, you know, add a little bit of thrust to convince the airplane. Like when you're going up a bridge or into a parking stand, that is, you know,
Switching to tower, Lufthansa 8 Romeo Whiskey.
uphill. Not like in every single one turn. Okay, so straight ahead over here and beam the 2 terminals, and then we'll go left over there and Charlie 8 will be on the right hand side.
Left hand for 59 Charlie, ready for push and start.
Lufthansa 59 Charlie. Pushback approved.
Push and start approved. Lufthansa 59 Charlie.
Alright, so let's already take a moment to talk a little bit about our flight. Now, I already talked about why we kept the TCAS off. Because it really killed some of our frame rates. Apart from that though, it was a fairly nice flight, especially interesting doing the math to get out of Minneapolis, even though the real one was a lot easier than the simulated one. But what I found really interesting was when I used the real-world performance data, I actually had to pitch to 15 degrees after takeoff, which is the real-world pitch you need with the A330 after takeoff. Always 15 degrees, when you do correct mathematics, of course. So that tells me something about how the standard ini-build performance calculator messes it up when you get a pitch that is too low after takeoff. Because the simulated one has that tendency to want like 12.5 degrees, which is correct for an A340, but not for an A330.
Runway 25 center taxi.
Apart from that, it's been a fairly nice flight. The final approach was actually rather free of stutters as well, which I do appreciate. And, well, that's pretty much everything there is to this. Overall, a thoroughly enjoyable flight, with the exception of a couple of those stutters on the approach. Now, if you're wondering, I am recording this one with sim update number 3, and actually it seems that ini-built aircraft are kind of known to have these problems with sim update 3. The sim update 4 beta would solve that, but, well, you know. At the moment, at least at the time of this recording, the sim update 4 beta has huge activation issues with other aircraft. For this reason, I prefer to stay on the sim update 3. For the time being, at least. Once they fix those activation issues with aircraft like PMDG, Just Flight, etc., Then I'm probably going to try the some of the 4 beta, hoping that it's going to solve problems like this.
November 4, Lima 3.
Okay, so A330 is on the guidance system.
Runway 25 center taxi via November 7, November 4, Lima 3, Lufthansa 6 Romeo Yankee.
Come on, a little bit of thrust to stay moving here. 13 meters. Nice and slow. That's the hard point, going just fast enough not to stop the airplane, especially on a single engine, but then again finding a nice compromise for being slow enough for proper maneuvering. And here we are. So parking brake is set, APU is available in a moment.
Then Lima,
Here it comes.
November 14, November
Available.
17, and north, Papa 1.
Okay.
Taxi to parking, cross runway 25 center.
What is blocking my click spots?
November 14, November 17, and north, Papa 1.
Come through, all doesn't park.
Echo.
Okay. So let's wait until they've disarmed the slides. And request deboarding, please. Here we go. So, parking checklist. Parking brake or trucks. Brake set. Engines off. Fuel pumps off. Parking checklist complete. Alright then, thank you for flying along, my friends. I do hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I surely once again had a blast at this one. But now it's up to you. Let me know your feedback in the comments underneath the video. As always, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. And then finally, let's review our fuel usage here. 46.2, and we were supposed to use 46.2. Perfect. So spot on. Very happy with that. Alright, cool then. So, let's get ourselves some ground power. So, toggle GPU. It would be nice if we were able to place some trucks here as well, because we did get the brakes hot. Outside temperature 9 degrees, then we can shut the APU down. So what is the actual brake temperature here? Yeah, 300. That shouldn't even cause the brakes hot. Well, that's fine. So, thank you very much, my friends. I hope that you guys enjoyed the flight as much as I did. As mentioned, I surely had a blast flying this one, but now it's up to you to leave your feedback in the comments underneath. If you liked today's ATC, check out Say Intentions AI, and if you really love what I'm doing on this channel, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to see you all again on the next one.